Hi, this is Vamsi Krishna, UL14CS009. In this video, I am going to explain my 7th experiment in Unix and Linux lab, that is file operations using systems call. Here, for list of, they have given the list of programs. First, I need to write a program for to copy the contents of file from one file to another file using system calls. That means we need to copy the files from one file to another file, and second program to concatenate two files and write it into the third file using another using Unix system calls. And third question, write a C or C++ program to open some data to an existing file using Unix call systems. Fourth program is write a C or C++ program to randomly access a file using Unix systems calls. First, we look into the first program, that is first to copy the contents of the file to from one file to another file, that is first this is a program for copying the contents of one file to another file. Here I am included all the header files. I'm starting the program using namespace std. I'm starting the main program int and I'm declaring the integer values as ft1 and ft2, and character buffer maximum size of the buffer is 100, and the file name size is 10, and for the f2 characters I'm using as size as 10. First, here the user wants to enter the file name, that means he needs to enter the file name, and it will take through a file name. If ft1 equals to, it will open the file name and read only. It will give the permissions read only, and if fd1 double equals to -1, that means file does not exist. Else it will read buffer1 and the contents of the files, or it will display the contents of the file, and it will ask the user to enter the new file name. That means again the user need to enter the new file name. It will take it as f2. If fd2 equals to create, f f2 dot these are the operations, that means 0761, and write it in that, write it as fd2 buffer and size of that. It will display the contents of the new file is it will display all that file content, and read fd2 equals fd2 comma buffer 100, and it will print the cout as buffer. Let's look into the output. First I'm enter the first file name, my pipe. This is the first file name. The contents of the files are it will display the what are the contents of the files in that, and here I need to enter a new file name. This is the new file name, and it will the copy of the content, that means it has copied the whole content of that, and first one is completed. And write a C++ program to concatenate two files and write it in the third file. uh, this is the second program. Here I am included all the header files. It will start the program, and if fd1 equals to -1, it file does not exist. It will display the first s1 equals to read fd1 buffer comma size of 100, and contents of the file it will display. And again we need to enter the second file name value. It will take it as f2, fd2 equals to open fd2 read only, and if the here if condition will rise, if fd2 equals to -1, again it will display file does not exist, and it will come to the second file s2 equals to read fd2 comma buffer to 100, and it will display as the contents of the second file it will display. And for the if for concatenation, here we are using this s3 equals to s1 plus s2, that means these both operations here concatenating, and after concatenating these two values, it will the value should come into this another third file name. For that I am creating that enter the new file name. Again we need to enter fd3 equals to, it will create the fd, that means new third file name, f3 comma, it will print the operations, and the content of the file it will display. Let's look into that output. Yeah, first file name I'm giving it as same. It will display the contents of the first file is my name is Vamsi and Karunya. In that second file name I am entering 5. In that same content is there, enter the new file name. That means I need to enter the new file name for the concatenation, and it will display in that. Yeah, it will display, that means all the operations which I have included in that both, it will display both the contents. Then write your C or C++ program to open some data to an existing file. That means for that this is the code. For that header, first I am including all the header files, and here the main content of that file is character input stream as 100 and buffer as 200 size of that, and character file name, that means 10. If here here I am using this enter additional content. That means to enter additional content, that means in that file only my name is Vamsi and it will display in the Karunya. If we need to enter any additional content, we can add into that. It will take to write FD input stream as size of 50, and it will display the contents of the new file. It will display. Let's look into the output. Enter the file name. My Yeah, actually in the previous file the content of the files are my name is Vamsi and it will display in the Karunya, and if you need to enter any additional content like register number, it will display the that additional content of that next file. Again, next write a C or C++ program to randomly access a file using system calls, or if you want to check this file, you can see that vi space. Yeah, it will display as my name is Vamsi and Karunya, as it will display. For the fourth program, if you want to randomly access, that means from beginning of the file or in end of the file, we can access the file. For that, this is the program for that. Here, if fd equals to -1, if the file does not exist, and here here entering the reference from for reference 0, it will print as the beginning. We can randomly access, and from 1, if you press 1, it will we can access randomly, and if you press 2, it will access from the end of the file. Here in this we are using switch case. In the switch case, reference as the reference will be taken as C in, and the reference, if we press 0, it will go for from the beginning of the file. If we press 1, it will ask for randomly, and it will display the content of the file from the position, from which position you want to access, and enter. We need to enter the location for the offset. For that, from which position we need to access the file, we can enter in that. Let's we look into the code output. First, I am entering the. It is asking to enter the file name. Pipe. It is asking the reference 0 for from the beginning and 1 for random, and 2 for end. I am referring as 0. From which location you need to enter. That means I need to access the location from 3. It will print from that means my space, the my is eliminated, and it will print that name is Vamsi and Karunya, which are the what are the contents in that file, it will be displayed. Thank you.